Okay. All right, folks. Well, welcome to Big Win Wednesday, Season 2. Today, I am honored to be hosting everyone here. I'm honored to host the entire 3-hour session of Big Win Wednesday. What this is on a weekly basis. We go out and we hold 3 different sessions to train real estate agents how to basically create the life that they want. The first session each and every week is being taught or is going to be taught by Michelle Rinaldi, who is on screen with us now. Michelle is an icon agent, and we'll get into that in a bit as soon as I introduce Michelle. The second portion is EXP Explain. This is the model that it's basically exploding across the country and across the world. And we're going to go through. I have the pleasure of sharing with you my most recent EXP Explain. That's on the second hour of the call, and then the last hour of the call is Revenue Share Quick Start. We have a program within the company here at EXP called Revenue Share. About 1 out of 20 agents take full advantage of it, and we've got a rock star on here today. His name is Chris Saunier. Chris has an organization of, I believe, over 2,000 agents in his organization, or at least approaching that. And he's going to share with us how he has built that organization in a very short period of time and give you ideas on how you too can do this. All right. And so why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and welcome Michelle Rinaldi. Michelle, are you with me?
I am. How are you?
I am doing awesome. Thank you. And thanks to John and Pablo and Gloria. And of course, I mentioned Chris already. Somebody named Imperist, Tamra, Santiago, Kevin Scott. You've been religious at coming at this every Wednesday. Love seeing you all the way from the West Coast. Keon and Alina. Why don't we do this while Michelle, while I introduce Michelle, I'd love to ask everyone in the audience here to type in the chat. Type in basically what city you are dialing in from, or what region do you service, your farming area from a sales perspective. All right, and then let us know, are you new in the business? Are you a rookie in the business? Or are you a seasoned agent? And if you care to go ahead and brag about your sales volume, we'd love to understand who's in the audience as well. So Michelle can really speak with you and help you with your real estate sales activities. Okay, Santiago, I will get, I'm going to answer your question right now, Santiago. Will you have your hands raised? What's up? You are muted, my friend. Nope, we can't hear you. You're talking, your lips are moving, but I can't hear you. Can anyone else hear them? Nope. Maybe check out your mic or something. Thank you, Kevin Scott. You guys are awesome. All right. When you figure that out, you can just chime in a little bit. All right, folks, Michelle Rinaldi, she has been with our platform now for 4 years. She is a sales rock star. I remember the first time I spoke with Michelle on a Zoom call like this. Michelle, do you remember this? About 4 years ago?
I do. Yeah, with Elizabeth, your sister.
With Elizabeth, my sister, right? And I called my sister Elizabeth, who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I said, hey, Elizabeth, who do you know who is a sales rock star? I have a business platform. I want to run this by her. And Michelle got on a call, and I think it wasn't long until Michelle decided, hey man, this is the platform for me. So 4 years in, she is a 3-year icon agent. For those who don't know what an icon is, here under our platform, when agents sell $80,000 in gross commission income, in Michelle's market, it's around $2.7 million sales volume, I believe. In other markets, it might be up to $3.2 million. They graduate from 80% commission to 100% commission. Then from there on out, it is a race until the anniversary date resets to complete another 20 full transactions. Well, you've got in front of you a rock star today, Michelle Rinaldi, who is that icon. She's hit it 3 years already with the company. She averages, Michelle, you told me about 20 million in sales volume, about 39 transactions a year, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you're a mom, you're a wife to Paul, a mom to Ella, and 2 other girls, Amelia and Maya. Michelle, say hello to everybody. What else did you want to share with folks before we get into you teaching people about how you crush in real estate?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you want me to share a little bit about who I am first, and this way you guys kind of don't just think Tom plucked me off the street and threw me on here. You know what I mean? I started in real estate about 10 years ago. My husband's Canadian. I'm originally from New York. We were living in Toronto. I was a stay-at-home mom. My Ella was around 4 years old at the time. And my husband had to shut his business down. And, I was like, well, hell, what are we going to do now? We have no money. So we were just kind of like in limbo. The first brilliant idea I had was to rent out our house, because I'm like, well, that'll generate money and at least we could pay the mortgage. And then maybe not such a brilliant idea, I said, I guess we're going to have to move in with my in-laws because we can't live on the street. So we moved in with my mother and my father-in-law. And again, we're like, what are we supposed to do? So my in-laws just so happened to have a condo in South Florida on Singer Island. And they were so gracious enough to let us stay there. I said to my husband, like, we're never going to get out of your parents' house unless we do something. I can get my real estate license in 4 weeks in Florida. And then, that's it, problem solved. Little did I know that just because you have your real estate license, people are not just going to say, here, sell my most biggest asset. Here, help me buy the biggest thing I will ever buy in my life. So, that sparkle kind of got knocked out of my eye straight away. But we came down here. My husband couldn't work because he didn't have any type of visa. So he stayed at home and took care of Ella, drove her to and from school. And I literally just like crammed to pass this real estate exam. And then to my surprise, after I passed it, I knew nothing about selling real estate. I'm like, well, what? I don't, I had to find a brokerage. I had to, figure out like how to do all the things. And there's so many things to figure out. And I really didn't know anything. So it was quite the eye opener. But I had said, give me a year. And if I don't start making money doing this, we'll go back to Toronto and live with your parents. And and if that's not like a burn the boat moment, like, I don't know what is, because I did not want to go back and live with my mother and father-in-law. They're nice people and all, but like, no.
No, you don't want to go back there. I got it. Yeah.
So I was on a driven mission. I didn't know the first thing about selling a house, let alone selling a condo. I just wanted to sell something. However, if we kind of fast forward a little bit now, I just fell into the condo market. And it was such a blessing. For me, it couldn't have been a more better fit. I don't, do the open houses. I don't have to put the stakes in the ground with the signs. A lot of my condos have restrictions. So I don't really work on weekends. I'm home. If my day goes past like 3 o'clock out showing condos, I'm like, what in holy hell is going on? Why are we out so late? So I'm very blessed that the hours of my day coincide really well with raising a family and then doing the things that I enjoy in life, because that's what's most important. Like, we all need to work to make money, but I don't want my whole life to be driven by work. So, there's a couple of things that I did or that I slowly over the years, as I learned and grew, put into my business, rules that I made for myself, because at the beginning, you'll do anything, anywhere for anyone. And you really need to kind of hone in, because you can't know everything about every area, but you can know a whole hell of a lot about a smaller area. And that's what I decided to do. I decided to be the specialist, for condos, on Singer Island. So that's what I did. And I fell into it. I kind of got pigeonholed at one of the brokerages that I was at. The broker knew I lived on Singer Island. His like big head honcho top agent, you know, he's like, he's got more business than he can handle. Go be his buyer's assistant. You know, he didn't really want me around being his buyer's assistant. I was just like this little, like, let me learn. But, and you know, it didn't work out at that brokerage, but it worked out for me in the long run because I did learn a lot. And that's what pivoted my business from just being everywhere to a very isolated area. My farm area, pretty much where I do 98% of my business is 4 miles long, literally 4 miles long. I just drive up and down Singer Island, up and down Singer Island. I mean, there'll be like a week that I don't even leave the island, you know, and I get to work right out of my house. So, and I live on Singer Island, so I don't know how much closer I could get to work. You know what I mean? Like I part of my listing presentation is like, I literally can show your home on a moment's notice. Like I had a showing this week and I walked through the bushes to the other condo next door because I'm right here, like I'm in the pulse, you know? So that makes me like the go-to agent. And I believe that because there are so many agents now, so many part-time agents, so many, oh, I'm a realtor, oh, I have my real estate license kind of people. I believe that all agents should figure out how to set themselves apart, because just like we're unique as people, we need to be unique as realtors. You know, doctors have a specialty, lawyers have a specialty. Like, why wouldn't realtors have a specialty? So my specialty is condo sales. I don't say I'm an expert, because an expert means that I know everything, and I don't. I'm still learning. But if you put me in a room with 100 realtors, I probably know more about selling condos than anybody else in that room. You know, like I've seen the good, I've seen the bad. I've watched myself cry because I didn't get a deal, scream because I didn't get a listing, but I learned from that. I know what, I went on a listing presentation 2 weeks ago and I didn't get it. And I will get, if you call me into your house, you will list with me. It's just, I just have that way with people, and I didn't get it. And I know why I didn't get it. And you know what? I'm glad I didn't get it, because the agent who got it said that they could sell that condo for a price that I knew it couldn't be sold for. So now they can spend the money, they can run around, and then they can look bad, because you know what's going to happen in 3 months. They're going to call me and they're going to say, oh, wow, you were right. You could. And I'm like, when they called me to say, we decided to give it to this other agent, I made it clear to them, no hard feelings. I'm here if you need me. You call me if you need anything. I'm here for you and your family. You know, and they said, oh, really? You know, like they probably wouldn't have called me unless I let them know. I'm not mad. Now, I did curse them out at my house, but I'm not going to let them know I was pissed off. And I was mad, you know, because I know that building. So I think that it's really important to know your market. I know my market. I do a lot of advertising on Zillow, but I know how to work Zillow, right? I know when that phone rings, I don't care where I am. I could be in the shower and someone's like, hey, Michelle, you know, or just, hey, is this an agent? Is this, you know, whatever they say, and they blurt out an address in a condo. I know if that's a southeast facing condo. I know how many, you know, condos are in the building. I know what the monthly HOAs are. I know what the pet restrictions are, the lease restrictions. I know if you're looking, even if you're Southwest, if you're looking at another building, I know what time the sun stops shining on the swimming pools. So that's why I can make Zillow work. And I think that's why a lot of people can't, because they are not as knowledgeable in maybe their area. And people who call you and don't have a face, a name, you know, I hear the way they speak to me when I first pick up the call and how it changes once I start speaking, because then they're like, oh, hey, this person knows what they're talking about. And then I already start to earn their trust. By the time they come down to Florida and I meet them and show them condos, they already think that they know me because of that impression that I give off. You know, I'm not, I'm a very like loving, warm, nice, kind person. You know, I'm like, oh, and I hug, and I'm, you know, and people really kind of respond to that because it makes them feel safe, and they're scared and they don't know as much as you know. And as many times as you have to repeat something, it's worth repeating because they don't know. And I always try to picture myself like when I go in, you know, maybe to the doctor's office and I have to have a procedure done. They've done it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, but not to me. So I'm nervous and I need to be told over and over and over the same things. So I just kind of think of it that way. So I keep my patience, you know, and I make them, and I think people really, really appreciate that a lot. So here I am now, you know, 12 years later, I market myself as a condo specialist. When I go into listing presentations, I don't talk about myself. The least amount of time is spent talking about the property. I don't need to talk about the property. I need to know why these people are selling. That's all I need to know, because all I need to do is give them the solution to how I'm going to get them to whatever it is that they want to do and why they're selling their property. So imagine if you had like a leaky toilet and you called in 3 plumbers, and one plumber came in and all he did was talk about what a great plumber he is, how many toilets he's fixed, and he's just awesome. You would be like, well, that's great, but like what are you going to do for my toilet? You know, then you have another guy come in and he, you know, actually tells you, oh, this is the problem. I can fix this. This is the part. This is how long it's going to take to do it. This is how much it's going to cost. And he never tells you how many toilets he's fixed. I'd still go with that guy because he solved my problem. So that's what people want. They want you to solve their problem. And the person who can do that wins, you know? So I kind of do that. And then of course I find a common interest that we both have from the second that door opens, no matter if it's a nice dress or something about the house, or oh, your grandkids are the same age as my daughter. Oh, you have a daughter, you know, that lives in Westchester. Oh my gosh, my sister lives in Westchester. Isn't that so funny? Did you ever go to Rye Playland? I used to go there all the time as a kid. And then all of a sudden it's just like, now I'm not just this scary realtor that's going to come in with documents and all that kind of jazz. I'm a human being, you know. So I think that those are hugely, hugely important things to keep in mind. And a lot of this information definitely is transferable into your business and how you want to run your business and how you want to set yourself apart, whether it's selling condos. It works for me because like I said, I get to work very limited hours. You know, like I don't know what's going on. A couple of agents from Miami want to do these 9:30 a.m. showings. And I'm like, yeah, Singer Island opens at 11:15. Come on, you know, I don't want to, you know, get up and run out. I want to kiss my kids goodbye in the morning and see them eat cereal and figure out what they're going to wear. And, you know, and then I want to be home. That doesn't say I'm not doing paperwork and I'm not working sometimes, because of course I am. But, you know, the being physically absent and away, running around, the driving, I've been able to really cram that into just a few hours a day, which is great.
Okay, Michelle, I'm gonna like to take a breath. You went on and on, guys. If you're paying attention, did you take notes? I took notes. Well, you don't see it, but I took down like 25 nuggets already. Folks, did you guys get all the golden nuggets that Michelle was dropping there? All the sales training that she did.
I'm trying to get a lot in a little bit of time. I want to see it in the chat.
So let's pause it right there, because that was a lot of information. Okay, so Michelle, in the chat, there's people from Orange County, California, Dallas, Fort Worth, who's 7 years in the business. Gloria is in New York, 20 years in business. I know Gloria was a broker owner. Tamara is 18 years in the business in Utah. Alina is a brand new agent. Pablo is brand new from Orlando. Man, lots of wisdom, lots of nuggets there, okay? Folks, this is meant to be interactive, okay? So just take a step back and think about your farming area. actually, let's think about why are you on this call? There are 16 of you on this call. A couple of our hosts, that's fine, but there's at least more than a dozen of you who are sales professionals. What questions do you have? What do you want Michelle to expand upon in all of these nuggets that she just dropped right now, right? I'm going to keep moderating until you guys come up with some questions. This is building relationships. All right, cool. So just, you know, Michelle is an amazing relationship builder. How do I know that? Because I work with her. But for those who don't know, Michelle was named Icon of the Year in all of 88,000 agents a couple of years ago. So this woman knows what she's talking about, and she definitely knows how to build relationships. And yes, her energy is just absolutely contagious. Michelle, Tamara asks, building relationships, how do you market yourself in a 4 square mile island, I guess, in a little island, and you're doing a lot of business already?
Yeah. Okay. So marketing yourself is huge. So like I said, I focus on marketing myself as a certified condo specialist, right? I am the only certified condo specialist in my entire county. So you know that's going in my signature on every email. You know that's going on my marketing materials. Now, I spend a lot of money marketing. However, if you want to break into the condo market, I have a couple ideas of how you can do it without spending money, because I know when I first started, that's a big deal, you know, and there are so many companies and so many platforms that will take your money, and you cannot do them all. So my suggestion is to pick 1, 2, maybe 3, and limit it to that. Like I said, I spend a lot of money on Zillow every month. It pays off. I sold a $4 million condo. I've never met the man. It was a 5-minute conversation, 1 phone call to the listing agent, and I didn't even have to write up the contract because it was new construction. No, it was 5 million. 5 mil. We haven't even closed yet. So Zillow works for me. But if you're starting out and you want to get into the condo or any community, my suggestion is 1, you go there, go to that community and meet the people that work there. Meet the property manager, meet the maintenance men, meet the cleaning staff, be seen. I get so much business from the property managers in the condos. 1, because I'm nice to them, and who the heck is nice to people that work? All people do is bitch, bitch, bitch. 2, when I go in there and I present them with an HOA application, or I go in there and I say, hey, I have this document, or I have that, it's always done perfectly. They don't need to call me 5 times and say, oh, you're missing the driver's license. They don't have to call me and say, oh, Michelle, you know, your buyers didn't do this or you didn't do that. I'm an easy person to work with, and I'm competent, and they like that. But you need to know those people so they can learn that about you as well. And then if it's a community, a condo, you know, a town, whatever it is where you want to kind of break into, make an appointment at every property that's there, that's on the market, with those listing agents. Because once residents and once people who live in that community start to see you, they're going to ask who you are. You don't have to be, you know, I don't wear a name tag and walk around and, you know, make it rain business cards. They're just like, who is this blonde girl with a ponytail riding the elevator? And I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Michelle Rinaldi. I'm a real estate agent, you know, and this is one of the buildings that, you know, is, you know, part of where I sell. You know, it's super nice to meet you. You know, they'll ask you who you are, you know, but go see those other properties. So now you can be familiarized with what the units look like, what this stack or this building faces versus that stack. We call them stacks, you know, the row in a condo, like A stack or the O1 stack. You want to know all that and familiarize yourself with it. And while you're there, why don't you take some pictures with your own camera and then post it? And then you can say, hey, listing in, you know, the Capri building, offered at this price, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, swipe left to see more pictures. Call me if you have any additional questions. And then you don't even need the listings. All you're doing is saying, hey, here's some information. What I actually have been doing is I create a Facebook page for every one of my condos. And then I say, oh, here, here's a new listing in the Martinique. There you go. And then I post, whatever video I take, whatever pictures I have. If there's, a price correction, I will update those websites. And then, people on Facebook, they're like, oh, I live here. Let me go join this, and now you're controlling, what's being put out there. So that's one way to do it, where it doesn't really cost you a lot of money. The Facebook, the social media is huge. When I first started, I didn't have anything to promote, to advertise. I was just kind of like, how do you even start? So I wish I knew some ways to start that weren't going to break the bank. I do send mailers out. I do a one-page color ad in the newspaper that's on Singer Island. So that doesn't cost me a lot, but that newspaper goes to every single mailbox in my entire farm area. So, those would be a couple of ways that I market. I'll do, like when I do have a listing, I'll kind of I won't do like an open house, but I'll do like a resident VIP. Right? Resident, ooh, how cool. We have resident VIP. And then I get all the residents to sign in. And then I'm like, I call them and now they know who I am. And they're like, wow, that's kind of cool. I've never had that happen. So you're not reinventing the wheel, I just kind of copy and customize. That's, copy and customize it to you. So.
Love it. And thank you, Samantha, who's our executive assistant here, to take notes for us on what Michelle was talking about. Love it. All right. So there's another question here. So that was how to market yourself. Hopefully that helped you, and how to build relationships, Tamara. Next question is, how do you get people to give you business over someone who's been doing this for years already? This is a new agent now. This is Alina. She's brand new and she's trying to compete with a seasoned agent. Think back, Michelle. You've got years in the business now, but think back to the beginning when you're trying to get out of your parents' house, your parents' basement, and how are you going to make it, right? Roll back the clock. Share some ideas here.
I'm probably like the youngest agent in my farm area. Most of the agents on where I work, they literally are in their 70s and have been doing it for 30 years. People know their names. Okay. So the one big hotshot agent I said, who I was kind of supposed to be the buyer's agent, that's like the number one guy. He's been around, I don't know, for as long as I can remember. And I was like, how can I get a listing over this man? Or how can I get a listing over, the two other ladies that everybody knows? Nobody knows me. What do I do? Pretty much, I have a different approach when I get into a listing appointment. I don't talk about myself as much. I focus on the other person. I went for a listing appointment, and I'll never forget this, that one agent had said to me one time, if I go for a listing appointment, I get it. And I can count at least 5 times where I'm like, no, baby boy, I got it. I got it over you. And that feels good. I got it. One of the reasons, and it was funny because usually it's the two of us who are like up against the getting it. It was a son selling the condo. The father passed away, and the father happened to have my flyer in the house. And the son goes, I called you because my father thought enough to hold on to your flyer. So it was me against the very, very seasoned agent. That son said, I'm gonna let you sell the condo because I think you're more hungry. Because you have
Right.
less. You'll
That's right.
focus on me more.
That's right. And
That's
that was
why I
one of
got
the, and
that
that's
listing,
exactly. So hopefully
right?
that helped, right? I remember that when I started in the business 17 years ago, I started from scratch, right? I was in the market where there were agents that's 5 years, 15, 20 years more seasoned than me. And I go on a listing appointment, Michelle, and they'd ask me, hey, Tom, you got no history here. How are we going to bet on you? And that's exactly what I said, is what Michelle just impressed upon you. I says, well, I'm doing this full time. I know what I'm doing. I have the market reports. I know this market. I know the neighborhood. And guess what? If you're going to hire Johnny B and he's got 13 listings, think about how much time he's going to have to market your property, to do your open houses, to tell his friends and family about the property, to knock on the doors of the neighborhood, to go and farm the area. Guess what? If you hire me, I will work for you 8 hours a day and nobody else, because that's all I'm doing. And that's how I got the business.
And one of the things that I'll point out is I'll say, I will hold your hand the entire step of the way. And I am the one that's going to show your property. I don't have an unlicensed assistant. I don't have some random person coming in and out of your home and giving them the keys. I'm the salesperson. I know everything. You're paying me all the money, and then I'm going to give it to somebody else to show. I know when I show my condos, it's like a Disney ride. Like I show every one of my listings, and it is a good time. Like if you're out there looking for property, you don't got to ask me to show you the amenities. I'm like, let's go see the pool now, like this, I'm selling you something awesome, so you need to emphasize you're getting all of me. I'm handling this myself. No one comes in your home without my being there. And I think that's really important. I did a phone listing presentation one time. And again, it was the two of us up and up. Who's going to get it? And the woman called me and she goes, it was so funny. When I called that other agent and said that I picked you, they go, I want to know specifically why, because I guess it had been multiple times. And he was like, specific. She goes, he wanted specifics. And I told him, I don't know. She just made me feel good. Who knows? Well, that was
and people
it.
do business with people they like.
I made
right?
her feel safe. I didn't make her feel like I was just vomiting my accolades. I didn't roll in there with a book of everything I've sold. I didn't, I explain what I will do for you. And now I will say, I've sold 15 units in this building, but I don't go on and on and on about myself because it's more important to listen. And that's hard for me because I talk. I got to listen, I make a good first impression at work.
Sure. You got to listen. Love it. And another tip for folks out there, I don't know if you use this, Michelle, but early on, as I got going, and I'm still competing with the rock stars, with people with a lot of long track record of solds and so on and so forth, then what I did was I leveraged my office, or I leveraged the team. And I says, hey, I no longer call myself Tom Truong. I call myself the team. We made up a name back then, right? And so I can leverage the sales records of the team, right? And sometimes if you're up against massive competition and you aren't 100% confident that you'll get it, well, it's better, wouldn't you think, to bring in someone from your office, someone here at EXP or whatever brokerage you're working with, to say, hey, I'd rather split the deal with you. It's my lead. I'd rather do it 50-50 with you, leverage your experience, leverage your resume, and earn 50% of a $10,000 commission check rather than try and go at it on my own. Keep 100% of zero, because that's what I'm going to get if I don't get the listing. Talk about that.
Yeah, I've done that. I got a listing for a single family home on the water. The biggest the biggest perk about that was it was a corner, and you could put a couple of boats. I don't boat. I don't know about seawalls. I don't know anything about I can't even swim. So I had to get somebody else in there with me to get it. And I'm like, hey, like, I'm your girl when it comes to contracts, negotiations, and showings, but I'm bringing in this person because, you know, they know seawalls and boats and single family homes. I don't even live in a single family home. You know, I don't. So I mean, you know what? Some money is better than no money. And I learned that the hard way too, when I was just like, no, I want it all, but some is better than nothing. It's, you just, lead with your heart, be a good person, and it's good karma, and it'll happen, but you have to, you have to put in the work too.
Yeah, I believe so. We have that saying, right? Fake it until you make it. I don't think that really applies when it comes to real estate. You can fake it, meaning if you have the level of confidence and you have all of the data and you're gonna crush this thing, regardless of your inexperience, right? And you got this, then yeah, go ahead and go in it. But boy, if you don't know the area, especially if you get a lead and you haven't mastered that area yet, and you haven't mastered the building, you haven't mastered the laws, the bylaws of the association and stuff, and you're meeting with, let's say, the trustee who's selling his condo, and you don't know the stuff, man, you can't fake it until you make it. You're going to get thrown out the door.
No, knowledge is power.
Split a deal. What's that? Yeah. Yep. And I see that a lot, Michelle, on the commercial side. We've got a lot of residential agents. Many of us are mostly residential, but when we have a commercial lead, we think we can go find a lease. We think we can go find a convenience store, or a gas station. And then we try, and then we fail miserably and get 0% of 100, which is still zero. 100% of zero is still zero.
Yep. Every time I go outside my wheelhouse, I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I knew better. I don't know what I'm doing. Why would I agree to go sell in Fort Lauderdale?
Right.
I know, I stick to what I know, but I faked my ass off when I first started in real estate. I'm telling you,
exactly.
If you look, no, I'm dead serious.
Sure.
I got some marketing pictures done, like headshots, me and my husband, because he got his real estate license. We went to Bloomingdale's. I bought a $500 Tom Ford dress.
Yeah.
He bought a Hugo Boss jacket. I didn't cut those dang tags off. We did the photo shoot. And I said, baby boy, you better go return this right now because we can't even afford it. And those are the same clothes I have on. This was maybe like 7 years ago. It's the same clothes that I wear. It's the dress I'm in on Tom's flyer. I don't even own that dress, but I'm like, I got to look a certain way. And, so that's right. That's a $500 Tom Ford dress. And the tags were tucked in the back, and then it got returned. Yep.
That is a great story.
But I pretended, like I wanted to have this persona and, look a certain part. And I think that that's also important, but knowledge, you can't fake, the knowledge. But what is important, and I will tell you this, I do have my own task force, I call them. I've got my mortgage lender I can go ask questions to. I've got my, inspectors. I've got, my handyman. So my response to a client is never, I don't know. It's, let me get you that answer. Right. I don't say I don't know. I will find out for you. I will make a phone call and get back to you. So that's really important that you have, especially a mortgage lender, an insurance agent. That's really important. Right. Handyman that you can lean on. So you also don't ever have to say, I don't know.
All right. I love it. Hey, Justine, who is Michelle's executive assistant, when you hit the replay on this and you edit this video, and Sam, who's my executive assistant, cut out this little clip here. And the title is going to be, You Can't Fake the Knowledge. You can fake it till you make it, but you can't fake the knowledge. That is the title of our YouTube video for this little section right here. Right, Michelle?
Yeah,
I love that. I just learned that from you. All right, guys. What other questions are on your mind? Come on, you've got an icon, 3-time icon agent, the icon of the year here at EXP among 88,000 agents. Fire away. What's on your mind?
So I have a question, Michelle. Out of your 39 sales, what percentage does Zillow represent as a lead?
They're pretty big. They're pretty substantial when it comes to the buy side. The listings don't really come. I've got one, maybe two listings from Zillow. It's the buyers that I really get from them. Quite a few, but now I'm at the point where I'm selling the same condo 2, maybe 3 times, because the people that I sold to, 7 years ago now want to sell, or, they bought 3 years ago and they don't use it, so I get a lot of repeat business, and I do a lot of internet marketing. So I get a lot of referral business from agents I don't even know. I'll get phone calls. I got a referral for a condo. I was the listing agent, so I got both sides. Another agent from another state referred me that buyer, and then those buyers actually called and said, "Oh, my cousin is looking," and then came to us. So I get a lot of that as well. Today, I got 3 referrals just from people who know me that follow me on social media, and it's not them buying. It's like, hey, my boss is looking for a place in Florida. This woman is in Canada. I gave him your number. My husband's uncle said, I gave, so-and-so your phone number. And then I got one of my clients said, hey, I gave so-and-so your phone number. So it's that, and that's great, because that's great referral business and business from people that know you. I mean, that's just like a slam dunk, because you don't even have to earn that same trust. There's no doubt what you say, those people believe you because they heard about you from someone they like, know, and trust. So you just kind of, are part of them, unless you're, a big ass, then of course you're going to blow it up. But for the most part, I'm thinking everybody's not. And, it's much easier to get that kind of business than to just pick up a phone and it's Zillow,
Yeah. So Tracy put in a great comment here. So are we promoting Zillow? Now, without the tonality, I'm not sure what you're trying to say, Tracy, but I think I know what you're trying to say. Like Zillow, Michelle, has been trying to take away our leads, our business, rip off our leads, rip off our listings, and then sell it back to us at 35% on the dollar. And exactly. So, yep. So we promoting Zillow. So let me sort of take a first crack at sharing what you would answer, and then you're going to take it the rest of the way, because I was paying attention, Michelle, right? Yeah. So earlier, Michelle says she makes a lot of money on Zillow, and the reason is she knows Singer Island like the back of her hand. So she can separate herself, she can set herself apart right on the outset when a cold buyer calls in just looking for information. And most agents who get Zillow leads don't know their market area like the back of their hand. So all they do is ask the normal questions. When do you want to go see it? Are you pre-approved? Blah, blah, blah. I bet you Michelle doesn't ask any of that. She gets right to the heart of it. She goes, well, did you know that unit is south facing or north facing? Did you know that even though it says it's water, it's really not water, blah, blah, blah. Take it from there. And that's why it works for Michelle.
The one other reason it works for me, and this is key, okay, is because most of my buyers are out of state. And as much as we all might hate Zillow, the real world doesn't. And that's where they're looking. It's that simple. So all my calls are really coming in from people who live in New York, New Jersey, California, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, out of state. And they're the ones on it. You know what I mean? Right. It's just my market. So I'm not promoting it. Don't use it, especially if you live around me.
That's right, because Michelle's going to run circles around you. So Tracy,
yeah, you won't. You
won't beat Michelle because she knows her market like the back of her hand, right? And so basically, the answer. My answer.
Wait, who's Santiago? I'm from Queens, New York. Or who's that? Gloria, I'm from Queens, New York. That's right.
No, it was Santiago that put it in the group chat. I'm in Westchester County.
Oh, my family's in Westchester.
No, it was you, Santiago.
That's so
Santiago,
cool.
yeah.
Small world.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
back-
Oh, hold on.
back-
What
back-
part of Queens?
Middle
East
Village.
Middle Village,
from-
Flushing.
Show
Oh,
yourself.
nice. That's
Show
nice.
yourself, Anthony.
East Elmhurst.
I'm
Awesome.
driving right now. That's why my camera's off. Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt the call. I just heard Queens.
I love
know.
it. So back to Zillow, and then we'll move on to the next comment or
Okay.
next question. Okay, back to Zillow. So it says, Tracy is saying it cost me $6,000 for 1 month. I am new and I cannot afford that. Let me address that first, and then Michelle, you address it after.
Mhm.
My suggestion for you is if you are with EXP, I'm not sure if you are or you're not, and even if you're not with EXP Realty, I suggest you go out and you invest $7,000 a year in KV Core. I'm a master at KV Core, and at EXP we get it for free. And if you invested an hour a day generating leads, the way we teach you to generate leads here at EXP and through KV Core, and they're going to teach you as well, and you spend, let's say, $60 a week boosting ads times 50 weeks is just $3,000 if I have my math right. Once a week, you will get more leads than you can handle, and then you don't have to pay $6,000 a month. That is $72,000 a year. Invest in KV Core, that's about a $7,000 item, or come to EXP and you get it for free, and then invest another $3,000 a year boosting ads, and boom, you get the same results. Okay.
Mhm.
But if you don't have time to do it, like Michelle's a rock star, she doesn't have time to boost that stuff, so she just pays Zillow a referral fee. Back to you, Michelle.
I do thoroughly like KV Core. I mean, I was working with these buyers and I got the buyers from Zillow. However, it's integrated with my KV Core. So the lead goes into KV Core automatically. And then I was taking those buyers out on Singer Island looking for condos. They kind of weren't like really happy with what they were looking for. And then a couple of days later, I see on my phone, it's like, sure, Michelle, we saw this community in Jupiter. Can we see it? And I'm like, sure, Michelle, what? I didn't even ask you anything. Well, KV Core was talking to them and said, hey, I've got some time this weekend. If you're available, why don't we go look at more property? And they go, sure, Michelle. Well, they bought a townhome in Jupiter from me because KV Core was on it. I was probably still in my bed sleeping. So that is, and then, oh, and today I said to my husband, what are you doing? Because he was sitting on the couch. He's like, I'm going through KV Core. And then he gives me the computer. He goes, this looks like a good call, this person. I called, I'm showing her $1 million house on Singer Island on Friday, and she owns on the island. So hopefully I would get to list that property. That's KV Core. So yeah, Zillow helps me, but KV Core really, tracks these people. And I see on the dashboard, one of my clients that I had sold a condo to, I sold their condo, then they rebought from me. I see her on KV Core looking at houses. I'm like, why is she looking at houses? Well, because she got a divorce. So now I got to do the third deal with them and sell that other condo. And I helped her buy $1 million house in Jupiter. 4 deals.
I
But
love it.
KV Core prompted me to reach out to her because she probably figured I won't do the house, but I will do
love
the
it.
house.
I
And I'll
love it.
sell the condo. So yes, I'm a big fan of KV Core.
Me
There are
too.
things that work for me that might not work for you and vice versa. There's, you might be an open house superstar. I'm not,
Yep.
so yeah.
Tracy and everybody else, you get training, go right to the KV Core site from EXP, go to Enterprise, click on KV Core. There's lower left-hand corner, there's a support button, click on that. There's 15-minute tutorials, take them, pay attention, take notes, and then apply them. And then if you really get stuck inside EXP world, we do KV Core training all the time. KV Core itself has live classes all the time. You
Mhm.
just got to put the time in to learn the system. All right,
Yeah.
guys, we're 22 minutes past the hour. We're going to go for just another 3 minutes. Then we're going to take, and then we're done with Michelle. If you have any more questions now, please open up your mic or type in the chat. And Michelle's a rock star, is going to help you answer your questions. Who's got more questions?
So
Comments?
So Michelle, if let's say if I have a buyer in the near future that wants to buy say a $4 million condo in Queens, would you work with me to do it and sort of work out a commission split so I can learn about condo sales? Or
Of course I would do that.
is it
I absolutely. Of course, I would do that with anybody. When I show my listings, and I can tell right away when an agent doesn't sell condos, while they're leaving, I always say, if you have questions about any of the buildings or any of the other condos, you can call me, even if it's not mine. I'm happy to help. So absolutely. I've had agents reach out to me after for like the last 3 years, I always taught a condo course in EXP World. And I always tell people, message me, I'll help you brainstorm. I had an agent call me and say, hey, I have a listing in some community. I don't know whether it was a house or not. And she asked me, she goes, what would you do if you heard that maybe a neighbor was selling, but you didn't want to just like go over there and knock on the door for no reason? I said, okay, tell me about the community. She says, it's a plus 55 community. I've got the listing. I said, no brainer. I said, go knock on the door, introduce yourself, and let them know you just put such and such a house on the market. There's going to be more traffic coming to the area, cars you don't recognize, and you didn't want them to be alarmed. There you go. Leave your business card. Let them know if they need anything to call you. You went there with a kindness in your heart out of concern, but you still got your message across that you listen, you got a house for sale, and you're a realtor, and here's my card. So yeah, like if anyone needs to brainstorm or run through ideas, one agent, she called me, she was scared she was gonna lose the listing, and they called her in to talk to her. I said, well, then we need to brainstorm some marketing strategy so you don't lose that listing. She goes, but what? I've done everything. I'm like, well, let's talk. Tell me what you've done, and I'll tell you what you haven't done. And then, so you'll always get the long answer from me. I'm sorry, Eric, but yes, I will help you.
That's awesome. And that was John Huey. But yes,
Sorry,
Eric,
John.
no problem.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right,
there you go. Okay,
guys.
sorry, I'm like all over.
I love it. Great question. All right, guys. So listen, thank you, everyone. Give Michelle a hand, say thank you, put it in the chat, show her some love. Thank you, Eric Thomas, for showing her some love, right? If you guys have referrals down in Singer Island, Florida, around the West Palm Beach area, give Michelle Rinaldi a call. Michelle, how do people get in touch with you?
You could just message me on Instagram. It's just Michelle Rinaldi Realtor.
Michelle Rinaldi Realtor on Insta.
I'll type it in.
All right, very easy. Everyone follow Michelle, follow her material. I love it that she goes in and she creates pages, Facebook pages for every condo association or the major ones that she services, and she controls that market. Now, it's not even her listing, but she's recording, she's doing the open houses. I mean, she's showing the property, she's showing the exterior, she's talking about the neighborhood, this, that, and the other. Michelle, it was a pleasure having you on. It was a pleasure, and I'll definitely see you at shareholders, right? Are you going to be a shareholders?
Yeah, this is fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Feel free to stick around if you like, guys. I'm going to take a 4-minute break. Thank you, Michelle Rinaldi, again for helping out and teaching us today. Okay, and take a 4-minute break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to do the second part of Big Win Wednesday, which is the EXP Explained. I have a brand new PowerPoint presentation. It's still not too late for you guys to text your agents to come on so they can learn how to do the presentation and or invite some guests so I can help you explain the program to them the right way, and they can decide for themselves whether this platform is going to help them take their business to a whole new level. All right, thanks.